Hello YouTube. Sorry for the lack of videos lately. It's been, I'm quite prolific with the number of videos that I upload, but I have kind of reeled it in a little bit because my computer is, well, two reasons. Number one, my computer is like 7 years old and it's like I'm really struggling to put any videos together on it. It just seems to be giving up the ghost, I think, in a lot of ways. And the other is that I've been quite despondent this week, or at least for the last couple of days. I've definitely been really quite despondent. And it's made me think about a lot of things. Now, I said in the previous video that I used to do sort of venting vlogs or stuff about myself when I first started this channel, and that's what it was kind of about, and then it grew to be something else. Well, I said that I would be bringing some of those videos back, so this is one of those videos. So I'm going to talk about me, and hopefully it has some sort of bearing for you as well. I don't know if it will, but if you're not into this type of video, then absolutely just you don't do that on TVs anymore, do you? To change the channel, and I'm not even on TV. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, what's been bothering me is procrastination. The idea of you have something to do, you have something that you absolutely either have to do or should do, and you don't do it. You don't do it. You put it off. You put it off. You give yourself excuses. You say I'm going to, I'll do it, in a little bit, I'm just going to watch this episode of this TV show, or I'm just going to finish this video game, or whatever it is that you do to procrastinate. Even if it's just I'm just daydreaming for a little bit and you don't get it done, or or perhaps you get something important to do and you put it off to go and do something with your friends, or whatnot, and that's really what's bugging me. And I'll tell you why it bugs the hell out of me. It bugs the hell out of me, not in a sort of, come on guys, get it together. You really need to stop procrastinating. You need to just follow your ambitions and get your goals and all that stuff. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with myself. And I am king of the procrastinators. If I was Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'd be in a film called The Procrastinator. That was an awful, awful joke. But it's true, well, not the Arnold Schwarzenegger bit, but it is true that I am terrible for putting off things. Just I do it all the time, and the worst thing about it is that I recognise that I do it, and I've just had a bit of self-reflection recently because I'm 31 now. I look much younger. Thank you. Well, maybe I don't, but yeah, that's my age, right? Some people may be surprised by that, but I'm 31. They may think I'm 46, and looking back over the past sort of 10 years, it's weird to me to even be talking in terms of decades now in your life. I think you get to around 30 and you start talking about decades. And I look back over the past 10 years, and I had a lot of dreams, as does probably as do most people, really, especially in their sort of late teens, early 20s. They probably have a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations, a lot of ideas. But I mean, they were more than a passing idea for me. They were like absolute things that I wanted to achieve, and I just let stuff get in the way. Constantly, just let stuff get in the way. And I did have a difficult time in my mid 20s. So I give myself, probably out of that 10 years, I give myself a 2 year buy. Like there's 2 years in the middle of all of that where I'm like, okay, some terrible stuff happened. You needed time to get through that, and but then that still leaves us with 8 years. That's right, I can do maths. 8 years of what I see as procrastination on my part, not achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. And here's the thing: it's not necessarily about, you see, when they talk about procrastination in psychology, they talk about it as like replacing a high order objective, something that's really important, with something that's of low priority. And you do that because it's something that you maybe enjoy, but a lot of the time it's to merely not commit to something, or to just pass the time, live in your head, whatever it is. That's what you do. You're replacing something that is important with something that is unimportant. And I think that, like I say to some of my friends, what have I done in the last 10 years? And some of my friends go, are you joking? You've done a lot, right? But it's all within the context of your own life, of what you want to achieve. Now, and I feel terrible about this, because I've maybe achieved certain things that some people would want to achieve. And I'm really not that bothered by having done that, right? In fact, if I could roll back time, I probably wouldn't have done it. And I'm talking about my education. I went and did 8 years studying psychology, and then research methods and statistics. And I have 2 degrees. Well, I've got an honours degree and I've got a master's degree. And but it was wrong for me. It wasn't right for me, and I knew that. And I made a video about this a long time ago. I knew that it wasn't right for me fairly early on. But you have this idea in your head about what you'll maybe achieve your other ambitions while you're doing it. It's like a fallback, or that you will. There's part of you as well as like a sort of peer pressure thing, where you feel like somehow you'll be letting down people if you don't complete what you've set out to do. So, but that's crazy though. You think about that. I mean, 8 years. I mean, some marriages don't last that long, And me and my friends sometimes play this really fun game, which is guess what Michael could have been in the same amount of time. 8 years. Could have been a doctor, a lawyer, I don't know. Choose your pick. You're probably doing most things in 8 years. And instead, I kind of just skirted around what I wanted to do. Initially, when I was, and it's going to sound like the typical thing for most people, right? Oh, I wanted to be creative, right? And I say this sometimes to people, and they'll say, well, everybody wants to do that, Like someone will say to me, like when I started playing music when I was 3 years old, and I still learned to play the piano, and then when I was 9, I picked up the guitar, and then when I was 17, I spent 4 years being classically trained, and music was really it for me. I mean, from about the age of 14, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I kind of did like a lot of stuff. I played in cover bands and stuff like that. So I did end up like getting paid for it, and I also played in originals bands. But it was all about like songwriting, and music still is to me, really. Even though I have 2 jobs, but one of the jobs, and it's how I put myself through uni, and was that I do guitar lessons in the evening, and I've had great enjoyment out of that. But it's not what I really wanted to do. Like guitar lesson plans and stuff. Anyway, I don't know why. It's not like you're going to call me a liar, is it? Why would you lie about something like that? And the thing is, I wanted to be a musician. It was absolutely my dream, and it wasn't about the fame. It wasn't about the recognition. That's why I'm saying that it's maybe different. Like my girlfriend says, well, everybody wanted to be a singer when they were younger, And I'm like, well, no, see, and I asked those people to describe what they wanted, and it's like, it's the fame, it's the money. It's never been about that for me. It was always about wanting to create things. And all through my childhood as well, like I ended up, I think it's like that old thing where you hear people say, jack of all trades, master of none, And I do worry about that myself sometimes, because I write as well. I've had some stuff. I had one of I had a novella that I wrote, and I won a competition, and part of it was published in a newspaper and stuff like that. And so I followed that, and I always kind of like, well, the music's my main thing, and I'll write as well. and because it was something that I was always interested in and still am to this day. And then also, I was interested, and it sounds so silly when I'm saying this, other things that I was more than interested in things that were real driving passions for me. I was also really interested in being a filmmaker. Initially, it was not. That's my phone going. Initially, it was not. I'm sorry, whoever that is, but I'm ignoring you. Initially, it was not about wanting. They're just still ringing my phone. Initially, it was not about really, really wanting to be a filmmaker, like as my main goal. But eventually, I realised that if I could make films, I could get to direct, I could get to write, and I could get to do the scores and the soundtracks. So I could. That would like put everything that I love doing into one. So when I was about 23, 24, I decided that's what I really want to do. But I stuck with the psychology, I stuck with the study, and I kept doing that, and I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the energy to just do everything that I wanted to do and do my university. And the thing that got me was that I see people, I've got students that I teach, and they're just so more driven than I am in terms of the level of energy that they've got. They just into everything, and I know other people in my life, friends for example, who are real. I mean, you would say winners in life, not in a Charlie Sheen sort of way, but like you really would say they're winners. That whatever they turn their hand to, they're going to be successful at. And I've really lagged behind everybody, really everybody, and that's because I procrastinated. I've put off, and I've made big plans, and have I done some of them? Yeah, I've made a few short films. I started up a website. I do all of that, and that's kind of a place to put up my films, and that was my if you know what I mean. And I put my music up there, and I put my short stories up there, and so like all my creative stuff goes there. And I guess my point is, I don't know, do I have a point? You tell me. I guess my point is that you really shouldn't procrastinate. You shouldn't put things off, and you should just get on with it. You absolutely should. I mean, I'm 31 now, so I'm not necessarily seen in some people's eyes as being, well, it depends who you talk to. If I talk to an 18-year-old, they probably think I'm quite old. If I talk to someone who's 40 or 50, they probably think I'm still quite young. But I'm kind of in that middle ground now. And although age doesn't really matter in those terms, I still feel like I've let myself down. And it's not just a feeling, like I have absolutely let myself down. Pretty majorly, really, when it comes to what I wanted to achieve in my life. So there are things that I've been doing over the past few months. I was making some videos on another channel about it, and I said that I wouldn't make another video about it until something solid was there, because I didn't want to be the guy that always talks and never does. But what I've decided is, I still do like rants and all that in this channel, and anything that you still subscribe to watch here, you'll still get. But I'm going to use this channel to try and motivate myself and document my my progress, because otherwise I'm just circling the tank, and that's no good for anyone, especially myself. So there are certain things that I want to achieve, and I'm going to talk about them in this channel, and I'm going to use it to try and motivate myself, and I'm going to try and keep going with that, and be strict with myself, and just keep going. And here's the last thought: don't give excuses for yourself, in terms of putting stuff off or failing. Sometimes, like I say, I've had bad things happen to me. I'm sure you've had bad things happen to you. Everybody has, unless you're very, very lucky. But even if you are very, very lucky, at some point in your life, terrible things will happen, and that's just a fact of life. You'll lose people you love, or God forbid, they'll lose you. Something bad will happen at some point, and really, it's not about how to avoid these things, because you can't really. It's about how you respond to them, and do you keep going? And that's the thing, you need to keep going. And I've kept going, but I've kept going at a snail's pace, and it's time to ramp it up quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, it'll be difficult because I've got two jobs, so it's, time wise. But again, I can't use that as an excuse. A lot of time I've said, "Oh, I'm too tired." If I finish like a 15-hour day or something like that, I need to then just go bang. I'm going to do a few hours on what I want to do, and I have to do that for myself. So you will see videos from time to time with me doing this, and like I say, it's if you fail, sometimes it's due to bad luck, but most of the time it's down to you, and certainly most of the times I failed, it's been down to me. I genuinely believe that you can achieve and do whatever you want to do, but you have to have the right attitude, and you have to have the right get up and go. You have to, but no one's born with that. It's not innate. You cultivate it in yourself, and that drives you on. And that's what I'm doing now, hopefully. Anyway, I apologise for this video. It's been an absolute mess, and if you've made it to the end, I'm very, very impressed. But yeah, sometimes I really need to vent, and I think that if I put up the stuff that I want to achieve, even small personal goals, stuff like that, occasionally on the channel, and then obviously my bigger goals, I feel it's a way to keep myself going, to motivate, and because if I put this stuff out here and I slack off, I know the internet man, and I know, not the internet man, there's not a man who's the internet man, that wouldn't make any sense. His name's Davros. I know what some people are like, and if I don't keep going with certain things, people will go on my back about it and say you're an idiot, so that's a motivator in of itself. Anyway, I'm going to go. As always, if I haven't made you unsubscribe by this point, check out the website and Facebook and the podcast and the forums and whatever else is down there, and I will speak to you all soon. I'll be back tomorrow with a Choose Your Own Adventure video, because it's Choose Your Own Adventure Fridays, and then I'll probably be back on Monday or Tuesday, and I'll start making some rant videos and stuff like that again, and we'll talk more about some of these things that I want to do, and maybe some of you could do it along with me. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, bye for now, and have a great day.